guys, so we're going to go ahead with our third video, which now should be probably Thursday. So what we're going to do is add some shading into this picture. So hopefully you have a drawing that you kind of like. So for your shading, what you're going to start off with is a few things to remember when you're shading. When things are going to be darker whenever they are further away. Well, no, they're going to be darker if you want to add depth to them. We're going to make them darker whenever they are like further away from us, which is kind of the opposite in natural lighting. Notice the next time that you're off in a car and you're driving, and well, maybe you're not driving, in the distance when somebody is driving and it's way, way far away, notice how all of the colors get much, much more hazy. But we're kind of thinking of this as in like depth as in like a well or something. So the things that are away from us, we're going to make super, super dark. Your next layer, we're going to shade a little bit lighter, a little bit lighter, lighter, and this one up here is going to be our last one. This out here, this layer is going to be white, completely white. The other thing that we're going to keep in mind is anytime that these overlap, they're going to become a little bit more shading to them because they're overlapping, so we want to show that one is on top of another. So that was a lot. Let me slow down and let me show you what I'm talking about. So I hope I didn't lose you already. So to begin with, figure out what is the last layer, what has the holes in here. And what you're going to do with that is you're going to start off with, now this gets to be, I always think of this like when I've got my drawing all set up and it's ready to go, almost like a coloring book page. I can just like, I don't know if you've ever heard of like, did you know there's something called adult coloring book pages? What? I know. So with this one, you're kind of wanting to, we're going to work with your pencil direction here. And with this, whenever you're shading, try to go the same direction. The worst is when something looks like it's been scribbled. So you're going to try and take this as dark as you can possibly take this. Just keep that sharpener real handy because you're going to use it with this project. So we're going to take this, and anything that this reminds me of like, I don't know if you know what Swiss cheese is. It looks like a stack of Swiss cheese on top of each other. So you're going to make this as dark as you can possibly make this. And after you have this pretty dark, if it's kind of streaky looking on here, what I'm going to recommend, let me get this close here. All right. Now what I'm going to recommend is that you can turn your paper or your pencil. I'm actually going to recommend that you go the opposite direction. So what that's going to do is it's going to hide the direction of your pencil strokes. It's going to make it super, super dark. And that's our goal for this one. So look how much darker that got it. Ooh. All right. So you're watching me here, which I know isn't crazy interesting. Hopefully you are working along with me. And then, oh, my hand's getting tired already. All right, so I'm going to continue on that. So go around and make everything on there, all the Swiss cheese holes, you're going to make those the darkest. Then, in my next video, I'm going to show you how to do, in the next part of my video, I'm going to show you how to do the next layer, which is going to be lighter, and how to add some of that overlapping that we talked about. All right, so go ahead and color away, work on that. I'll see you in the next video. In the next part of my video. Gosh, Mrs. Rao. Alright guys, so your next step that you're going to be doing is I have colored in all of my really the lowest, darkest layer. The next thing is to figure out what is the next layer up from that, and that one's going to be shaded not quite as dark. Think like maybe a dark medium. So whenever you start shading this one, a few things here. So we're trying to show depth with this, so whenever it's further away, it's really dark. As it gets closer to us, it's going to be more of a medium dark. This one's going to be more of a medium. This one's going to be a light medium, and this is going to be a light. So that kind of should hopefully help you out. Sometimes what you could also do is if you really, really need to, you can go through it here and like mark those, like this would be a medium dark, You can go through, just remember to erase those little letters as you go. So we want to shade for depth. Also, we're going to add a little bit of shading whenever something overlaps. And let me show you that real quickly. So I'm going to start off with, this is, I know what I'm doing on this one because I've been looking at it the most recently. So what I have here is I'm going to do this one a medium dark, and it's going to pretty much be the exact same medium dark throughout the entire piece here. Something else to kind of help you out with, I've been trying to go the same direction a little bit. You want to completely fill these in as neatly as possible. I'm also, not only, if you'll remember back to our shading a sphere, I tried to shade so that I followed the direction of the flow or the direction of whatever's happening here. So that's another little helpful trick. So instead of like going across this way, I kind of changed direction ever so slightly. Now that's a little bit shaded. You can tell the major difference that gives. The other thing, whenever it's closer to overlapping here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and I'm going to put just a little more shading value on there. Just a little more. Just a little more on this one. And what that's going to do is it's going to give the appearance of a little bit of a shadow. And it helps with your three-dimensionality also. So here we are. Hopefully you can kind of see, you know what? That looks a little, I'm going to transition out a little bit. It looked kind of like I outlined it a little too much. So I'm going to take that and blend it out some more. Blend in. All right. So, all right, that is your next step. And I will show you your last and final video on Friday of the finished project, and we'll see how that looks. All right. You guys have fun. Enjoy.